I'm your host, Cameron, and I'm here with Atopwe, Adam, and Tanya. Before we get started, if this is your first time doing this, tuning in, we do office hours 6 times per week where you can bring your bubble questions, your bugs and feature requests, and we'll help you out. We can't promise answers, but we do at least promise you won't suffer alone. And we get it right most of the time. I know that Atopwe, you were wanting to know about the Wave API and sort of how we'd approach setting it up and using it and so on and so forth. So we're going to briefly go over that today at the very least, and then we'll hop on to some other questions. And I had, just before we started recording, I had created a Wave account. And this is going to be how we start everything. Now on screen, I am going to be reading through this documentation just to make sure that I do it correctly. But you'll be able to reference this video and see exactly how I did it, and should be awesome. So I did, like I said, create an account. You do need a Wave account. The API applications are going to be associated with this. And so interestingly, they don't have a concept of a sandbox account. So we're probably going to be limited on the amount of calls that we can make without hooking up payment, if I had to guess. But it does say that we can create as many as we'd like to be able to test this out. So let's get started. We're going to navigate to the Manage Application page, which, well, we may as well just click this hyperlink. Let's see, does it take us to where we want? We need to go through the application creation procedure. Only take a couple of minutes, it says. We're going to call this Pro NoCoders. Let's say a sandbox API to showcase Wave functionality. It needs to be between 10 and 200 characters. When you create an API, and especially if this is your first time doing it, not sure about you, Atopwe, but typically you need redirect URIs. And so we'll just simply create one. We'll just call this Wave Redirect. We'll go ahead and preview this page so we can actually get this. We'll take this here and we'll plug it in to our redirect URIs. So they're space separated. We can enter more than one. And you'll probably find it yourself that you'll have two here. One with the debug mode is enabled, and then one without that. Looks like we need a logo. Perfect. We'll use the Pro NoCoder logo. We'll agree to these terms and conditions. Basically, it just says, don't do anything you shouldn't do, right? And we'll create the application. So this is our application. We click on it and we're given a client ID and a client secret. I'm not too worried showing you these. I can always reset them. And then we'll also be able to create a token. The reason we have these pieces of information is because when you're creating your API, or at least making API calls, you need to reference your client ID and typically your client secret. Your client secret is actually used a lot of times to give you an access token. An access token is basically a privilege that allows you to make calls. Now, I'm getting a little ahead of myself because I don't know exactly everything how Wave works. So let's go back to, let's see, we'll keep this as its own separate tab. Oop. I'm going to copy and paste that URL, and then I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to keep going back. And we have already created the application button. Cool. So the next step is going to be authentication. Based on what I'm seeing, there will be 2 different ways. So you'll be able to generate a token in one of 2 ways. We'll be able to do OAuth 2, or it looks like, I believe, just our token. And like I had said, typically what we end up doing with our client secret is receiving an access token. Now, we're able to just create a token right here, and this is it. So for you and I right now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually bypass creating an OAuth 2 if we can help it. And that's basically, imagine you logging into Google on a website that isn't a Google website, but they let you log in with Google anyway. What you're doing is basically or what that website's doing is it's saying, yep, this is the application, this is the secret. And then when you log in, they give you this access token. You don't see this access token, of course. It's sent to Google servers, but then Google authorizes you and lets you log in. And so we're going to be doing something pretty similar. So creating a full access token. We have done this. We've created the token. Cool. And now we have an application and are ready to make requests to Wave. So it looks like they have a playground. We're probably just going to deal with it or play with this for a second if we can. Let's see. So list businesses. Is this a video? Or that's just a weird play button that's sitting there. Okay. Cool. Not a problem. So
that's misleading.
Yeah, that is very misleading, isn't that? Interesting. Okay. I'm just seeing, well, it looks like they actually did give us some examples here on the playground. So additional examples are available. I'm going to click on this so we can see how things are sort of set up. This is interesting. We're querying. So I'm just sort of taking a look before we dig into things just to see what we can do. I am not familiar with Wave, like I said, but we're still at least going to try and approach this and do something. So we don't have any customers. We don't have anything like that, but we can try to create a customer. I want to see here. So this is when you approach something like this, or when you look at something like this, where we have typically two boxes here. This is going to show us, this actually looks like it would be in JavaScript, I believe, or PHP. Not too sure. We're not dealing with that. We don't want to deal with that. And the reason I mentioned this, though, when you have two boxes, this is your response. This is what it's going to look like. This is what you pass in, and typically this is the response here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type in Wave REST API to see if they want to be cool with us. It looks like they may. Let's see, the Wave REST API is based on the Chatter REST API. We'll go ahead and head here and see, do they give us documentation? API quick start, setup authorization. Well, really what I want to know is, where are we going to make these calls? So typically when you have calls, especially in the Bubble API connector, I'll show you right here. So we'll set up a new API connector and we'll call this Wave. And then we'll have a call here, and this will be just a test call. You'll see we have a get, a post, a put, a patch, a delete. We have a bunch of different functions that we can use. And then typically, well, always actually, there will be a URL that we call to. And so I can show you up here for iTunes. We were just doing iTunes last night. We were getting information from this URL. And so we'd expect, let's say, api.wave.com, and we'd put this here. Obviously, we do it down here where we're creating this Wave API call, but this is what we're going to do here together. We're just sort of looking around. So we aren't. So it is built using GraphQL. Okay. How to GraphQL. I don't think this is going to work with the regular REST API that we use. Like I said, it looks like it's JavaScript, and they're actually using TypeScript or some kind of combination here. So it might be a little different than the way that we normally approach it. Trying to see if we can find a REST API. Of course, this is. What is this going to give us? Well, you can see here that it's pretty interesting. They just give us /wave. That's not typically how we'd approach this situation. So I will say, going into this, it is a little different than conventional APIs. It looks like they are doing something a little different than what Bubble's API connector typically supports. but I'm not deterred necessarily. I'm going to spend a little bit more time just looking through here.
So we were looking at this with a scope in mind. So one of the things that I warned about was the fact that Wave's API does not do any sort of webhooks. So you would have to keep querying them to see if a payment has gone through.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then, just like that was one of my red flags on it. But it sounded like there are more than I even foresaw.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. So it looks like they do give us the curl command to generate an access token. And like I was saying, we created our own access token. Let's see, a query resource. So if we wanted to query just something, right? This is I don't know why it loaded all the way at the bottom, but this is the example response body. Let's scroll up to the top here. This is the resource URL. Okay. So it looks like this is going to be a post request to wave/query. Now, the real question is, what is the actual URL that we're going to be requesting? So we already have this API application with guide OAuth scopes. Okay, let's try this. So it looks like we're given this here, api.waveapps.com/OAuth2/authorize. And then on here, we're given /wave/query. So we're going to try this out where we're actually going to delete OAuth from that point. And we are going to take wave/query. So this looks like the base URL. And then this is saying this is where we're looking at wave/query. Not super positive, but we will try it. This is an example request body. Now, this gives us some information here that honestly, I don't know what it means. I'm going to be completely honest. I think this is saying load a certain section of your application or a certain section of something. So what we'll do regardless, though, is we're going to go back to our API connector. We'll try this out where we do a post, and then inside our JSON object, we'll be pasting this information here. I can almost guarantee you we're going to get an error. And one of the reasons is because we need this. What I'm doing is I'm creating a header. So again, we need to let Wave know that we're authorizing this. Oops. That, yep, we are what we're trying to do. And it shows here, this is what you will. This token can be passed to the API using authorization with the value of bearer, your token. And so this is really honestly how it is in the majority of all APIs. Where did I place my token? I don't know. But we'll click here, we'll go to manage applications, and we'll go back here and we'll get this access token. And this is how your call is going to be set up typically. Again, almost can guarantee you we're going to get an error, but let's go ahead and initialize it. Yeah, message not found. One of the reasons is probably because what we're querying, nothing exists with what we're actually querying. We're trying to find something that doesn't exist on our application. So let's close out some of these tabs. Let's go back to the documentation. And let's see if there's, well, actually, so let's go back to Wave. So your Wave account. Let's see, can we add something quickly to, if we go to dashboard, create a new, let's say, customer. This guy is me. Now let's do Pro NoCoders. And my phone number is coincidentally all 5s. we'll add this contact. So now we should have a, oh, that's not how this works. Okay, so the account number, I wonder, do I have to enter all of this? Can I just save it? So it looks like we can save it. Perfect. Then we need to find our documentation. Is there anything that says get customer or find customer? No, that's wonderful. Wave dashboard. This, you know what, let's change our mind here. So I've created a customer and I know that we were about to find that customer. I'm not seeing anything where we can actually query the customer or find the customer. So what we're going to do before I change my mind again, we're going to go to our, was it dashboard resource? Dashboard ID. If I had to guess, my dashboard ID is going to be this guy here. Sort of just like scrolling through, seeing what we can find, but okay. And then also, because I'm curious, I do want to click on integrations and see where this leads us. Okay, no worries. We'll do a get here. And we're just going to try this out. And if we can't get this right now, we're going to take a break here and move on to Adam. I just want to see if maybe this will work where we call this particular ID. Again, I'm sort of spitballing here and I don't know exactly if it's going to work or if it's not, but let's find out. So here's the API endpoint, wave/dashboards with that ID. And it doesn't look like it. So Ayatope. What we're going to end up doing is I can spend some time on this with you after we help Adam, because I'm also curious, how do we set this up? This is typically how we'd approach it. There isn't a whole lot of great documentation, so we'll revisit this and we'll see what we can do. Okay.
All right, Cameron. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Just so you know, that is how you would typically approach it. Create an application, take your access token, and put it in the header, and so on and so forth. But yeah, definitely. There you go. But in the meantime, yes, Adam, I know you've been waiting patiently. What can I help you with?
And we will be covering this, Ayatope, we will be covering all of this in No Code School. So.
Okay, I understand.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, hi guys. So basically, I am trying to figure out the upload care situation still. I'm still using the same zero code plugin that I was using prior. And the reason is I kind of got spooked when Callum said that you couldn't delete records from your API through the database, because that just stressed me out, because I don't want the database to start getting clogged if people upload something and then change their mind. It's just a lot of money wasted. So there is a way to do this with this plugin. It does find the record within upload care and deletes it when somebody deletes it within the front end on Bubble. So I have kind of built this out on a test page, and I want to just go through it with you. So I'm going to share my screen. And I also have the documentation of the plugin pulled up, and I just want it to work.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So I kind of rushed through that. So basically, so I have this little box. Obviously, this is not great UI over here. This is just a test. But you click it, that pops up. Success. We'd love to see it. And then now, I'm trying to upload, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to do a JPEG, so we're not messing around with SVGs, because sometimes those are finicky. So this is just an example of a Pexels photo that I found. All right, crop. The crop is already preset. That's not what I'm worried about. So click add. And what I have it set to is that now there should be an image here, and I see an error in the bottom. It might not have anything to do. Oh no, it is. Okay, so through the following error. Great.
Okay.
So does this look like something I just have to report to zero code?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe, and the reason I say that is because why are we getting the error? Is it so this plugin file uploads greater than 50 megabytes plus video capture?
Right.
Do we have a minimum and a maximum set on the plugin? Like, is that file less than 50?
Oh, it's significantly less than 50. Yeah. It's significantly less than 50. But I don't know why that would be an issue. Do you know what I mean? That would be a really strange issue.
It'd be very strange. Yes, I agree. I'm just wondering though if maybe that's why. So do we have that option? So we have a max file size and a minimum file
the thing
number.
is that I didn't change this. So this is what came with it. So I kind of figured that 50 was almost the max, but I obviously like read that wrong, you know. So the automatic that comes with it is 25.
Okay, and this is so NoCoders upload care is the app or the plugin.
Yeah, and the actual here I actually have the documentation up here. It's file uploads and video capture plugin for Bubble, and this is all the back end of theirs.
Yeah, so I want to make my way to their plugin page and see if I can find it. What an interesting error to get. Okay. And do you want to pull that? Oh, I think I found it actually. So by NoCoders, file uploads greater than 50 megabyte plus video capture.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And they give you the editor and the demo as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me see here. So I'm going to the.
And just so you know, I have all my APIs connected properly. I have checked that it does upload properly to upload care. It's just not pulling it back.
So it's not pulling back. So it does upload it. So that error that we're getting isn't saying that it couldn't upload. The error is saying that it can't find it.
Yeah.
What an interesting error. Okay. And button process image when clicked. And this is the workflow for that particular, that plugin, that particular element.
Wait, I'm sorry. So, okay. So the particular element on my end, I will show you is this, because I just really copied exactly what they have, which is when this is finished uploading, you make changes to the thing. And this is the exact, I actually copied and pasted this exactly. So,
okay.
I mean, this has 1 star and I talked about this, but at the same time, this just, it's 1 review. So you can't really base your entire opinion based off of just that.
Yeah, sure.
But this is their exact workflow as you see.
And the file list, add this upload list of file URL. Okay.
Should I make
curious.
this? Okay, wait. I'm gonna look into in their database right now. Okay, where? Oh God, upload care. It would be at the bottom. List of files. Okay, so I think mine is an image. So could that be the issue?
If it's coming back and it's not able to find the right data source, I mean, typically what would end up happening, if it's an image and it's trying to upload on a file, it would show a broken file icon. Right. I don't know about an error. However, it's a plugin created, you know, with JavaScript and so on, and they could have absolutely added an exception that threw an error if this was the case. So best recommendation is to, try that out and see if maybe that changes things.
Okay, I'm gonna do that right now. Logo, profile, image.
Yeah, no worries. And I'm also on their demo site too, so seeing what's going on here.
Okay, cool. Logo, profile, image.
And I am curious, so you're adding a list, even though it's 1 item, because I see that on their plugin, you can add multiple, right?
The reason, yes, you can. And this is particularly the use case for this is every user in my app's going to have 1 profile picture. So I just wanted to keep the demo simple here, you know?
Okay, sure. Yeah, taking a look at it while you're doing that. Create new image. I also wonder, so do you have the when upload care a file error by any chance? Because it looks like that is a workflow that they have added. I wonder if that may help us.
I think what that's supposed to do is essentially, so I don't know if you noticed this on the demo page, but what they have going is there's a way to do it through the uploader that upload care comes with, and there is a way to make your own version that's in-app. So if you wanted to do all of the special little like things and, like customize it, you could do that. So I think that that's what the purpose of that is for, but I'm up to try it out.
Okay, yeah, let's go with one thing at a time, definitely.
All right, so I'm gonna share my screen again. Okay, so I did it, I replaced it with a file, and what's supposed to happen is, oh yeah, I'm getting the same error. Gosh. I might just Google this.
Yeah, you could take the URL and Google it exactly, see what it's saying, if we can try to decipher what error it's throwing us. But then also, though, that's why I recommended potentially using the error workflow that they have, because then we might not need to, and it could tell us exactly what's going on.
Okay. So let me look into that and how to do it.
Yeah, so here, let me share my screen with you real quick.
Cool.
Yep, so it's the last one on their workflow page, but when upload a care file error. So it is a particular workflow, and then they just show a pop-up. So it says, if this happens, show this pop-up. And what this pop-up does is it then has the upload a care's error message exactly as is.
All right.
And so you don't need to do a pop-up, of course. You could just put the text there and then have the message as the error, or as the text as the error. But yeah. So it creates it, adds the file, the list of the file URL, which is a list of texts, to the file list. The file list is a list of files. Interesting. Okay. And have you tried uploading an image on their demo site to see if that works?
I haven't tried on their demo site. I think I did when I was first getting the plugin, but I've had it for a second. So
Sure thing.
I'm up to try it now and see if it, but if you want to do that while I try to do the error message thing, that might be good.
Yeah, I have a giant cheese ball. There we go. So it looks like that worked actually, a little too well. That was so fast.
I love to see that. That's what the goal is, no?
Yeah, exactly. And it gives us the URL file. So I wonder if we go into the data. And that's it. Yeah. So it did save.
Okay. Well, I actually just uploaded I put the text of the error message, and unfortunately it's just not showing anything. So I can share my screen again.
Yeah.
All right, so if you see, I have this, there's no visibility condition. It is just visible on page load, so it should just show up. So I'm just gonna run it again, preview. Okay, quick to upload. I'll even
real quick, you actually have an error before you even did that. Do you want to click that error on the bottom right?
Sure, so maybe it is through the following. So the error comes when I try to open it. Okay, wait. Yeah, but
so then that begs the question. So you do. So do you have the? And I know you said this. You have the public. You have the secret. You have all your API keys.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have to Google it. Like it's just this is the craziest thing. All right. It makes no sense. And I also hate that you can't just copy and paste from the inspector. It's so annoying. All right. I'm not going to remember that right now. Let me see. Jeez. All right. Well, I guess I have to. Can we teamwork it? Can I read it can I read it out loud and tell you what the code is?
Oh, your API key?
No.
I was gonna say,
Not. The error,
yeah, exactly.
the error code. I can't copy it, and it's literally like the alphabet twice.
So one thing that you can do is, do you have the option to inspect, right click and then inspect the page? Otherwise you can, okay, otherwise share your screen and then I can
okay,
sort of just look over your shoulder there.
Okay. So I'm doing command copy and it does not work.
Okay, so this, oh wow, that's the alphabet a little bit more than twice.
Hang on a second. I recently learned if I take a picture of text, then I can have my phone grab the text for me.
That is very cool, actually.
Let's see if it'll work. Hang on a second. I don't know if the quality of that was good enough. Nope, it doesn't like it. Oh wait, hang on. All right, I'm sending it to you. I'm sending it to you in Slack, Cameron. Nope, it didn't grab it.
Okay, no worries. I'm halfway done. Oh no, go back. I'm halfway done.
Oh, okay.
He almost had it.
Where was I? 687 FE 687. Yeah, what a string.
Wait, I think I'm gonna try. Sorry. Okay, well, there's nothing that comes up. There's nothing.
You have to remove the at.
Okay. All right.
No, keep the HTTP because it is an error that we're getting, or a URL, I should say, that we're getting.
All right. There we go. There. Thank you for trying to type that out manually. Yeah.
All right.
Comes up.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that entire string of text and put that in your address bar.
Okay.
And it should just give us a big code. Okay, so what's this saying? Oh, wonderful. That's what it's saying.
Okay, so, but why did it work for you and why did it not work on my app? You know?
So let's do this. Let's try this out. They have the API keys in their, they have demo public key and demo secret key. So I'll put this in the Zoom chat and let's just replace your API keys.
Okay, well, let me stop sharing and get mine.
Yep. Where'd my chat box go? There it is. Okay. So that's demo public. And this is demo secret.
I just had a call about like the importance of API keys and how I can never let anybody have them, blah, 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 blah. It basically was like, your app will be completely tarnished forever and people will sue you for the rest of your life if you ever let your API keys out. It's like, okay, great.
You definitely have to be very, very careful. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so let me delete.
And if we ever do run into a mistake where for some reason an API key is shown, we do scrub the video, we edit it, make sure that nobody sees it, or just completely remove that part of the video, just so you have some confidence.
Great. So yeah, Tanya always, we do that a lot. We do that more often than we should. But okay, so where can I find the keys?
There's apparently an extension you can install that will hide that stuff, I guess. Somebody mentioned it on office hours a while ago.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see if I can
like something
find
Ben
it.
may have mentioned.
Right, demo public key, demo secret key. I got that going. And am I doing this on? Okay, I'm gonna share again because these are no longer my keys.
Yep.
So am I just leaving them there? These say optional. Should I do them in here too?
I would do them in there too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just so you know, my actual ones were also in there.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So let's see what happens.
So off the bat, we get another error in the bottom already. Let's see, is that the same error? Yep, looks like the same error. So my next recommendation, and this is weird for sure. Let's put it on a sandbox page with no other plugins, nothing else competing.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop share. I'm just gonna make a new one.
Yeah, no worries. Because that's sort of where my head's going. I know that sometimes the JavaScript can compete, and not always, and typically not often, but it does happen. So what I'm seeing here is they have this workflow. We can click it, and then it starts the open dialog window. And we saw what you had, so this is the same.
Yeah.
Not a problem there. And when it's finished, it creates that. Yeah, so it really is just a two-step workflow, it looks like. I mean, or a three if you want to include the file error.
Create a date. First item. Image. And just so we're clear, when I have an image going, I can make that a file URL, right? I'm assuming yes. I know the answer is yes. I'm just saying it out loud.
yeah, that's what they're doing,
Okay, great. Make changes to thing that. Profile. All right, and I'm copying and pasting from zero code the exact. I can here. Let me just share my screen so people aren't just hanging out. Well, you're sharing your screen as well.
Yeah, we're just sort of tinkering around on the back end there.
All right, so we are going to go here. We're going to copy this. Copy. We're going to go here. We're going to paste that. Okay, there's literally nothing else that can happen here. This is it. So roundness, 25. Well, that doesn't matter. Just I'm crazy, and I'm a very
keep the aesthetic. Person. Yeah, I gotta keep the aesthetic.
Okay. No idea what these images are.
So no error though, right? That's good.
That's great to see. That doesn't matter. Add.
Okay, so no error though. So at least a step in the right direction. If we go to your database, do we see the actual file having been added? I know that we're calling to it, and it should, of course. I'm just wondering, actually, before we even do that, before we even look in your database, let's do a step-by-step on that plugin page. And let's see what the step-by-step says.
Okay. I'm just doing a sort by. I'm basically just doing like the first item. I don't even know which one. I could find. How about I just find a unique ID to make this simple? Let me stop share. I'll find a unique ID of a company. Company. All right, there's a good one. Where the ID equals that first item. Okay, lovely. That copy that. Cool. All right, now it's a specific unique ID, no potential chaos. So let's get into it.
Okay. You still do the step-by-step though, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially what's happening is I looked at this page, and this is their workflow. This is it. So upload care A's uploading is finished. Create a new whatever, which is this their data type, file list, add this. So this is a list of files, obviously, list of file URL. Now I have the exact same thing going here, but it's just making changes to something that already exists in the database. This upload cares file URL, list of text. And even if the list is 1, this should not be an issue. Now, this is displaying the exact same thing. These are the unique IDs. So as you see, it's the exact same unique ID, I just copied and pasted it. It should display something. So I'm going to try it.
Do this step by step, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's what you meant. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries. We got a little bit of both. That's fine.
Okay. Add. So, yep. Run next.
That says it's empty. You click on empty. And then go to this uploader's list of file URL on the right.
Yeah.
So click on this upload cares, just to make sure that it's pointing to the right one. Hover to reveal element. I can't imagine it'd be anything other than that purple box that you have there.
It's just that, yeah.
And then it is empty. So it's saying, no, we're not going to actually return any information. We know that the API keys are set using their demo. Now, there could be a chance that their API keys are associated only with their URL. So stop sharing your screen and go ahead and put your API keys back in, and we'll try one more time.
Okay, sounds good. Stop share. Okay. All right, I'm going to preview, leave page. I'm going to do step by step again. Share. Okay. Add.
Still saying empty. Now click on that and let's go back to the right-hand side and click on the list of file URL. Now I wonder if there's anything on, so these are your API keys. Is there any, like on their dashboard, on upload cares? So I'm gonna go to upload cares like user dashboard.
Okay.
Because I wonder if there's a certain kind of like, you need to set a URI or something of the sort that maybe we hadn't set or something. Not positive, of course, just sort of spitballing, thinking of all the things that could possibly happen.
Maybe it just doesn't, because it's a plugin, maybe it just really does not like the list thing. I don't know.
Let's see, we have API keys. We're given the public key. So I'll do this on my end. I'm going to
Okay.
let's see. Let me share my screen. Oh, I don't think I downloaded the right one. Oops. Nope, I did not.
It's not going to come up under upload care. It has to be, it's file uploads greater than 50 meg. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here it is. I'm not worried about sharing this. I can always change them. Oops. Did not mean to do that, but now I have 2 secret keys. So let's delete that one. Okay, let's go to, we'll call this upload care. So now we have this. Now we're gonna have a workflow where we, when a picture is uploaded, perfect. We're gonna create a new thing. We're gonna call this UC, short for upload care. We're gonna call this file and make it a file, and it is a list. Upload picture list. Right. And then we will take the image and we'll say this is going to be do a search for upload care. First items, file. Interesting, but this should be it, right? This is pretty straightforward. So we have to add this to the head, not a problem.
Wait, we have to add this to the header? That's why?
It does, yeah, that's what came up for me. Well, you know what? Actually, I do apologize. Let me make sure I have the right one installed because you remember I did download 2. So let me get rid of this. This is the drag and drop agency. We're not using that guy. Yes, that was the wrong one. I apologize.
That's okay.
So we are looking for upload care. Yeah, this is better. Okay. So we'll just set this to 9999. Make sure we don't need to add anything else. Okay. Need to, well, actually, yes, this is, we're doing a file is add this upload cares list of file URL. Cool. First items file. Okay. Add a cheese ball. Why not? Looks like it's cropped, and that's just the way that the application has it set by default. We'll add it. Nothing happened. Let's do a step by step. It is empty. Oh, okay. So we're running into the same issue that you ran into, which I wonder if we do a workflow and we change this to, let's add just URL. This will be a text. And list of file URL. We'll have this text down here.
Mm.
Now, I don't think anything is really going to change because like it said, in the output, nothing was passed through, but empty. Wow, 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 wow.
Nothing.
Nothing still. So the only last thing that I could think of, let's see, I want to go back to their plugin page. Oh, it's right here.
And
I'm already
I would have completely abandoned this if this were it from the start, but there was like one instance where I got it to work and I just held on to that instance and I was like, wow, like it's possible. You know what I mean? And now I can't get that back. And
yeah,
I tried to replicate that exact instance and all the settings and everything. And it was like, no.
Trying to see if they have anything in their head. They don't. And then Do we have anything for this guy? It's publicly visible, so there's nothing that's preventing it from working. And is there a step-by-step? Because it looks like they give us this demo page.
God. Okay. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to get creative. It's okay. I'm okay to abandon this at this point.
How absolutely interesting. So it looks like the API, so we had 8 successful APIs where we're posting and this is what you had said, like this is what works,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cheeseball PNG. You gotta love it. And it's not passing it through. Okay. So at this point, like you originally had said, I would message the team. I would say, yo, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very interesting. But in addition to that, though, I am wondering, so they do, of course, give us the API logs, or not the API logs, but the API keys. So we do have a file uploader. Do we have the option to... So, I mean, in theory, you could put this in as HTML and looks like JavaScript here. So you just put this in your JavaScript, and then when you click my file input, this should pop up. So real quick, before we end up going,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if we can do this, because at that point, then all you need to do is be able to pull the things, right? You just you reference whatever you sent through. So let's see, we're going to take an HTML element. Where's it hiding? Oh, it's right here. Demo public key. Where is it? So we're just going to try this out. We're going to name a button my file input. Well, that's what its name is, my file input. It's going to call, I think. Yeah, so the HTML JavaScript worked. It uploads it. Not wonderful by any means, of course, because then you need to make sure that it takes this and puts that into an actual profile, the image that you want it to. But we have the file uploader. We have an entire uploading files with JavaScript, bunch of JavaScript and so on. And then we should have the option to look at, does it give us documentation about how we would then take? Because after that, what you would end up doing, if I had to guess, is just referencing this image. Does it give us anything else? I think this is just all. Because then we need an upload button. So I don't think it actually uploaded. 65802. This may have been it, actually. So very interesting that your situation is not working. My best recommendation would to be, of course, contact the team. But further, you could delve into this API documentation to discover exactly what you want or what you can do with it. And obviously, if they're able to make a plugin, you're definitely able to use the API calls to sort of, would you say, almost in a sense, make your own plugin. Slightly different, obviously, but yeah, that's a very weird situation. I didn't see anything inside the API where we're specifying like a URL or anything that we need to set this to or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just that this is it. I don't know. Very interesting. Super sorry about that, Adam. I'm glad that we got to spend some time on it, but I wish we could have gotten you a solution. Just best recommendation would be message them truly at this point, see what they say.
Yeah. And maybe I expressed there was another plugin as well that Colin was using, and the reason I didn't want to use it was because it, would bog up the storage on upload care, and that's like where the pricing really gouges you. So if you can't delete anything, that's an issue. But we did discuss maybe like I can do a 24-hour workflow where it's like if there's no record using that URL in the app, then I can just delete the file somehow.
Yeah, I'm sure there's definitely solutions to it.
Yeah. So I'll get creative with how to do it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
What is there? I mean, all that the plugin is doing is using the API, right? Is it possible? I mean, we could just play around with the API in another office hours episode.
If the API seems like it's comprehensive and like user friendly, I'm up to do that because I don't want to, monopolize an entire episode. But I think it would be helpful.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we could take a look at it. Yeah, we'll be back. I'll be back on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, and any other office hour, of course, but we can go from there.
Cool.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
might just there's oftentimes when plugins will break for whatever reason, like the API has been updated and the author of the plugin just hasn't gotten around to updating things. So there's a lot of reasons why something might stop working. So oftentimes we'll just do the API connector and do it ourselves.
Okay.
But it's not, I don't think the zero code plugin is doing anything in addition to what the API is doing, is what I'm saying. So.
Got it.
Awesome. Time to move into after hours.
We can definitely do that. Yep, not a problem. Just seeing, because it gives us the file ID. It doesn't give us a JavaScript function, though, that we can use the JavaScript toolbox for, but it does give us the ID of the file. Interesting. Yep. Well, with that said, let's definitely move on to into after office hours, where if you have more sensitive information such as API keys and secrets that you can't share on screen, this is the perfect opportunity. We turn cameras off and we go help you. You can, of course, always join us if you're on the developer membership of Pro NoCoders. Be sure to join us. Everybody that's watching, thank you so much for tuning in. And those that are with us, thanks so much for stopping by. Everybody, have a great rest of your night.